Hi, welcome to Why Men in India Should Go Their Own Way, Part 4. Now, this is going to be the final video in this series. First off, let's talk about some laws that are biased against men. 1. Maintenance after divorce. First, there is no upper limit provided in this section for maintenance. It does not take duration of the marriage for determining the quantum of maintenance. Second, if the husband fails to pay the monthly maintenance, do you know what will happen? He'll end up in jail. A man could possibly go through financial crisis, and due to these financial conditions, he may not be in a position to pay the amount. This section does not provide any relief to the husband during his days of financial hardship. And finally, under the maintenance part, an able-bodied husband has been held liable to maintain his ex-wife. However, it does not consider that it is the responsibility of an able-bodied woman to maintain at least herself. And this is after the Indian Constitution states that men and women are considered to be equal. Child support. The man has absolutely no right to decide whether he wants the child or not. The women have the right to abort or to keep the child, but the man has to pay child support anyway. The second part of this, a boy is entitled to child support till he turns 18. And a girl, she's entitled to it till she can support herself or decides to get married. 3. We move to Section 304B, better known as dowry death. It states that if the wife dies of unnatural causes within 7 years of marriage, the husband is presumed to be guilty of dowry death until proven innocent. This is a mockery of the right to freedom stated in our fundamental rights. 4. Section 354A. Now, under this, catcalling or eve-teasing is illegal. Yes, you heard right. Eve-teasing or catcalling can land you in jail for up to a year. A lot of sexual harassment laws are framed in such a way that a hand on the shoulder, if perceived by the woman to be harassment, is found to be so. A guy asking a girl out on a date can amount to sexual harassment, even if it was the first time he asked the girl, simply because she perceived it as unwanted. As usual, the law is not gender neutral, men are the perpetrators, and women the victims. 4. Now this deals with abduction of a minor girl. Yes, this law needs to be in place, but it states that whoever by any means whatsoever induces any minor girl under the age of 18 years to go from any place or to do any act with the intent that such girl may be, or knowing that it is likely that she will be, forced or seduced to illicit intercourse with another person shall be punishable with imprisonment, which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. This case can be filed along with rape against a boy under the age of 18 if he eloped with his girlfriend and had sex. It does not take into account if the girl was coerced or if she went voluntarily. 6. Rape. I've explained this in the previous video. It's not gender neutral. And the wide variety of meanings for the word rape under the law is laughable. Number 7. Section 497, adultery. This is what the law states. Listen. Whoever has sexual intercourse with a person who is and whom he knows or has reason to believe to be the wife of another man, without the consent of that man, such sexual intercourse not amounting to the offense of rape, is guilty of the offense of adultery, and shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 5 years, or with fine, or with both. In such case, the wife shall not be punishable as an abettor. Adultery, guys. If you have sex with a married woman, you can be imprisoned for up to 5 years. But the woman who voluntarily had sex with you, faces no consequences from the law. 8. We come to Section 498A, domestic violence. A law I dealt with in my first video. Only women can be victims, yada yada yada. The 9th one, sexual harassment laws at the workplace. This one's a real kick in the balls. I'm not kidding. A normal conversation between two people can be construed as sexual harassment. Here are some of the examples given for sexual harassment. Leaning over to an adult girl or woman. I really don't know what to say about that. Asking personal questions about social or sexual life of a girl or woman. Now, I agree with the sexual life part. Her sexual life is her business. But what is wrong with asking her about her social life? How is that sexual harassment? Making facial expressions to an adult girl or woman. I have no fucking idea what they mean. I mean, if they meant sexual, they should have drafted it and said sexual. A smile is a bloody facial expression. Is that sexual harassment? Bloody hope not. Creating unwanted pressure for dates to an adult girl or woman. Now, this seems fair, but I think that it can be misused. Because even when the guy asks a girl out for the first time and she feels pressured, that can be perceived as unwanted pressure. And there's a possibility that she might file a sexual harassment complaint against you. That is, if she doesn't like you. If she likes you, she'll probably say yes. At this rate, I don't think men will be able to speak in the presence of women in probably, 10 years or so? Or let's say 20 maybe. Moving on from the laws, let's talk about the patriarchy. Patriarchy theory devised by the feminists shows male dominance and female oppression. So males are the oppressors and females are the oppressed. I'm no history buff, but I think oppression has some telltale signs. Like death camps, gas chambers, torture, whipping. You get the idea. Slaves are probably a good example of the oppressed. Now let's see if patriarchy theory holds if you look at what men did. What we're going to do is we're going to obviously set the role as oppressors for men and the oppressed for women. Here are some questions I'd like to ask. Would oppressors work to their bones every day to feed and shelter the oppressed? Would oppressors stand in the line of fire when the life of the oppressed is in danger? Would oppressors go off to war to protect the oppressed? Would the oppressors say, oppressed first on a sinking ship, so that the oppressed can be safe on the lifeboats? Did the oppressed have to prove himself to be a good provider and protector before the oppressor could marry the oppressed? Indian women have plausible deniability here because they can tell us that my folks chose who I should marry, I did not. Even then, the guy asking for a woman's hand in marriage still had to prove himself to be a good provider to the family. And women do get to choose. They cannot be forced to marry someone they did not want to. They are protected by the law. Guess which one? The infamous 498A. Yes, that law has its filthy claws all over the place. Moving on, my native place is a village by a river, and most families here were fishermen, and some of them still are. Majority of them, men and women alike, are not educated. The men go out into the waters on a small boat called Vanji in Malayalam in order to provide for their family, while the women stayed in their homes, cleaned the house, washed the clothes, and cooked food. These men often spend whole nights out in the water, and several deaths have occurred in this small village. Men who drowned in the water when they went out to provide for their wife. Try coming here and telling these women they were oppressed. I can bet you they'll probably slap you in the face and tell you to get the hell out of here, because they truly respect their husbands for putting their life on the line almost every single day to feed and shelter them. We also hear a lot of complaints about how women were restricted by their husbands in society and they were not allowed to go out. In the present day, I don't endorse men saying women should not be out at night or women should not dress the way she wants. But there was a reason that women were asked not to go out alone or late at night in the past. It was clearly for their protection. When a father or a mother gives their child a curfew, restricts the child and tells him where to go and where not to go, what to do and what not to do, do you think that the mother and father are doing this to oppress their child or to keep him from harm? Throughout history, men have had to take on the responsibility of being protector and provider. I think it was fairly reasonable to give a man some control over his household because he had the responsibility to keep them safe and fed. I will not deny that there weren't true oppressors, but I can safely assume that the majority of men did not want to oppress women, but to protect them. Moreover, a patriarchal country would not have taken to the streets after the Nirbhaya rape case to protest. The number of rape cases is fairly similar to the number of murders in 2014. When was the last time you saw a crowd holding up signs and posters saying "Stop Murder"? Without the women at the end of it. I don't think you'll ever see them because out of the 35,139 murders in 2014, 9,224 were women and a whopping 25,915 were men. Think about the uproar if these numbers were even close to each other. Even when more men are dying from murder, we ask for more laws to protect women. Would the patriarchy really allow this? I've read in several places that suicides among women are the highest in married women or housewives. I looked up the statistics. It is true. There were 27,064 suicides by married women in 2014. But when was the last time you heard that 59,744 married men committed suicide too in 2014? In fact, through all ages and all statuses, the number of men committing suicide were higher. And in some, men outnumbered women by a mile. And we still need laws to protect women. Finally, would the patriarchy really draft into the fundamental rights that women can have special laws for their protection? That right there dictates that women are not oppressed or second-class citizens. As a matter of fact, women are the protected class. I have accepted the fact that death and suffering of men is an issue ignored by society and the world. What I want to do here is show you that what you've been told by the feminists and by media is misleading. The media tells us that India is not a safe country for women. If you take a look at the statistics, in every walk of life, men are dying at a greater rate and getting injured. More men are murdered, more men die from accidents, more men are injured by accidents, more men commit suicides. Even through all these, we need more and more laws to protect women. This is patriarchy, is it? Are you sure your theory makes sense? to the men out there, you have three choices in front of you. Accept the reality and go your own way, fight to change it, or live the same life as a utility and second-class disposable citizen. I choose to go my own way. Make yours. But be informed of the reality when you do so. Now, that's it for today, guys. This is probably a long video, I'm not sure yet. From now on, I'll be looking at this from a different angle. I'm still going to be doing MGTOW videos and criticizing feminism, of course. If you know any more laws that are biased against men, please comment below. And if you're looking forward to more videos from me, you know what to do. Hit the damn subscribe button. Alright guys, ciao.